Hi everyone, I'm Ewan Jaspin. Today we're going to look at trimming your kite using these pigtails that are given to you with your Nash bar. Few reasons you may want to trim your lines or your kite using these pigtails. One would be if your kite is over sheeted, which is when your back lines are too tight and the kite starts to backstall. This can actually start to make you lose power as the kite will fold and collapse and fly backwards instead of flying freely forward to create power. Another reason is you don't get enough power out of your bar because your back lines are too long or your front lines are too tight. In this case, you can extend your front lines using the pigtails here. Or sometimes your lines get out of whack, one side gets shorter than the other or longer than the other, then you can use these to extend or shorten one side. So if your kite is over sheeted, which means your back lines are too short, you can get your two back lines here and add these pigtails on to make them longer. To do this, as the back lines have got a knot on the end, we get the pigtail end with the loop and push the knot through the loop, and then get our new knot here, push it through the end of the line that we had already, and there you have your new pigtail end, which is now longer, so it makes your back lines longer, and you should be able to adjust to the right amount to stop your kite backstalling. Another thing you can do to stop your kite backstalling, if you don't have time to put these on while you're already out for a session or you don't have them, is you can actually just depower your kite. This will make your front lines shorter, which in turn makes your back lines longer in comparison, which will stop your kite from backstalling. Say you want to make your back lines shorter or your front lines longer to give yourself more power as your kite doesn't have enough power, you can take your two front lines here. Obviously you have loops on the front lines, so in this setting we want to keep the loops at the end again. So we take the front line loop end, put it through the knot end of the pigtail, and then make sure we still have the new loop of the pigtail at the end. We put the new loop through the line loop and pull it tight, and then we have a new loop at the end here. Obviously make sure to do this to both lines on your back and front lines because you want to keep it even. So a few signs that your kite may be backstalling is that the wingtips will flare. They will obviously look a bit too tight compared to how they should, which brings the wingtips in a little bit. It also causes the kite to stall backwards and not drive forward with the bar in. Your kite should always want to drive forward even with the bar in. Now your lines are trimmed perfectly, your kite should look a lot better. Here's an example of how a kite looks when it's over sheeted to when it's sheeted properly. Now you can see the kite is trimmed properly, the wingtips are nice and square looking, and the kite doesn't choke backwards when you pull the bar in. So I hope that helps you. These pigtails can be very useful. I do recommend actually just putting them on your lines at the start, and then you always have the option to trim your lines. If you have any more questions, feel free to message me on Instagram, comment here on YouTube, or talk to your local Nash retailer.